Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the John Campea Show, the best damn movie channel on the internet, coming to you live from John's YouTube channel. I'm your host, not John Campea, as you can obviously tell. We have a bit of a to-do here today. So John is still with his family in Canada. He is going to be back tomorrow, though. We are going to do a later show with him. So once he comes off the plane, we'll get him back to the office, and he'll be here for you folks. But until then, I'm hosting.
And we had another.
And we had Rob isn't able to be here as well for personal reasons. So it's just me and Mr. Ray Ora, Chef Pleasures himself.
And Jonathan over there, right?
And Jonathan in the back checker. Jonathan helping us out. So stick with us, guys. We're going to get through it. Even though we've got a whole bunch of different things, we are still going to keep the spirit of the show happening. All right? How this works is we're going to talk about movies, movie news, all sorts of good things. And the way we do this is through you and your questions, okay? So the way that you do that is very, very simple. All you're going to do is write your questions in to us. You're going to go to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact and put your questions there. And if we deem it worthy to talk about, appropriate to talk about, timely to talk about, maybe, just maybe, your topic will be on air. Ray, are you feeling good about doing this show?
I am not, to be honest. I actually think this was planned. I'm confident in you.
No, I appreciate your honesty is what I mean.
But I'm kind of thinking this was planned. Like this is like two people out. I mean, Rob just this morning. Come on. Yeah. There's this conspiracy.
It's basically akin to throwing your kid into the deep end of the pool and
absolutely
letting them swim.
Zero floaties. It's gonna be fine. We'll be fine. Before we get into our main topics today, guys, we do have one off the top, and that is this: the prequel to the Predator franchise, Prey, released a teaser trailer today. So that is fresh, hot content for you all to enjoy. Ray, did you get a chance to check this out yet? No? No worries.
This is terrible.
I got to check it out, and I know Jonathan watched it as well. We got to talk about this a little bit. So basically, you all know the Predator franchise. These epic warriors from space travel through time and through the galaxy to fight worthy opponents. And in this prequel, we are going back to the 1800s, into the 20th century, or 19th century, excuse me, to face an opponent there. Now, you're only looking at about 45 seconds of footage in this trailer, y'all, but it is really, really interesting. We just open up on a girl running through the grasslands here, coming up to somebody else, lurking in the grass. They know they're being hunted, and then you get a quick image of 3 tracking dots on this guy's head. Cut to Prey. So this is going to be brought to you by the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dan Trachtenberg. I really like that film. I think it's an excellently done, suspenseful monster kind of film. It's written by Patrick Anson, who's mostly worked in television, mostly as a producer, but he has written a few episodes of television, things like Wayward Pines, Kingdom. He also did a couple episodes of Jack Ryan, too. So I feel like this is in good hands. The one thing that does make me kind of go, is it's a Hulu release.
That's what I just saw right now. Yeah. I just finished watching it. I didn't need the volume. It's a teaser.
Yeah.
It's a teaser.
It's a teaser. There's not much to go off.
Yeah, we don't see anything anything that's important to me. I mean, we should have seen one of these right here.
Exactly.
This guy, Rob, I'm touching your toy.
I know. We're so much closer to stealing Rob's hot toys today. I'm really excited about that aspect.
This is awesome, right?
It's a really cool figure. How do you feel, though, about a creature like that, a warrior like that, going up against indigenous people?
There's no shot. There's no chance. I mean, I don't think they have a chance. There's no way. They gotta have some better weapon than bow and arrow. But maybe the Predator also has primitive weapons. I don't know. Mm-hmm. All I know is that I think the last Predator that came out, not a lot of people liked it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the one before. Maybe that one didn't do good as well. I don't know if people are gonna believe in this what is it? A movie on Hulu or is it a series?
Yeah, a movie on Hulu.
This might be the first big franchise that's having a movie premiere on Hulu, right?
I think it might be. I think
one of the big names. I'll check it out if it's on Hulu. I just have to go to John's house.
For sure.
Because I ain't paying for Hulu. That's one of the more
Campea Plus again.
That's one of the more expensive ones, I think.
And I think you're right. If they do have a more equal playing field, I think this could be a really interesting film, especially if we focus on tracking and just, how fighting and warriors worked at that point in time. And in the original franchise, Arnold used his bare hands to take out a predator. So anything is possible. Jonathan, how do you feel about this one?
Actually, okay, so we talked about this at the outset before we jumped into the stream, and I was like, yeah, maybe he because the Predators are looking for a worthy opponent. Maybe they downscale their tech or something. But then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? And sorry, guys, this is going to be a spoiler for the original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I'm like, he did not beat the Predator with anything high tech. He covered himself in cold mud, so he couldn't be spotted by the heat signature vision. And he set old school traps, So actually, now that I think about it, this could be really cool. It's like a hunter on hunter. I mean, he's going to go through a lot of people before they start figuring some stuff out. Like, oh, this guy's invisible, or he can track me by heat, because they don't understand that technology to even figure that out right away. Mm-hmm. But hey, if Arnie could do it with some mud and some spring traps, then I think the Native Americans, I'm guessing. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that they figure it out.
I guess it would help for me to watch the first Predator.
Oh.
I started with Aliens versus Predator.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like with everything, I'm just a newer movie guy. Like, I've seen the prequels, I haven't seen the original trilogy in full. So I don't know.
I think the Predator series would be up your alley.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just from what I've seen, they have some high future tech. So I was just assuming it would be the future tech against this old school tribal weapons. But now that you point that out, maybe.
Well, you know what? At the end of the second Predator, again, a spoiler for the second Predator. Sorry, guys, but he gives Danny Glover I don't know if it'd be called it's a musket, but it's like a handheld musket. So right there, that implied to us that, hey, these guys have been going through time hunting us. And certainly someone from the 1600s. Well, this is set 300 years ago, so this should be 1700s. And that's about the time he handed that pistol to Danny Glover. So that implied that they have gone back, not that they went back in time, but their species has been visiting us for many centuries.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say this might be, I don't know if the Predator has ever gone up against a group of people, because tribes, they could get pretty big. I'm thinking this might be a first for, have they gone up against a big group of human people in the previous movies?
We've typically had small battalions, right?
Other than
it's been
other than the small strike team.
Yeah.
They went up against a bunch of aliens.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Well, the question, though, is, guys, what do you think of this? Did you get to check out the teaser trailer? How do you feel folks are going to stack up against the Predator? Hit us in the comments below and let us know your thoughts. All right. With that down and out of the way, let's keep rocking and rolling. Topic number 1 today. This is going to come to us from Stripe. Greetings, John. I've been a bit confused about Kang the Conqueror being the bad guy in Ant-Man, since that seems like a small film to have the next big bad of the MCU show up in. Then I read this morning that we're now saying different Kang variants will appear in different movies. Does this report make sense to you, or do you think it's too far out there to be real? Well, thank you so much, Stripe, for writing that in. So, this is talking about Kang the Conqueror, who we first obviously met in the Loki series. And that got into a whole bunch of Kang's background that's based in the comics. Variants are a very, very large part of who this character is. He's been running through time, causing lots of shenanigans, has tons of different variations of himself, as we've seen in there. So this information we have about how that works within the greater MCU is going to come from Daniel Richman, who's an industry insider. So this says, a new report suggests Loki supervillain Kang the Conqueror will return several more times throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Industry insider Daniel Richman recently offered an explanation for why Kang the Conqueror is set to appear as the villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. He stated, quote, "There will be different variants of Kang appearing in multiple MCU projects. That's the point. Kang is ultimately killed by Sylvie in Loki. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. But not before he tells her that he will see her soon, indicating the return of his evil counterparts. Majors himself later confirmed that Kang in Loki is different from the one that'll appear in Ant-Man 3. Quoting, "The character is different, so you move a different way. My psychology has shifted because of the character. He's just a different guy. And that, of course, comes from our friends over at CBR, so thank you so much. So that sort of explains a bit more about Kang. Like I was saying, right, in the comics, it's a really, really big part of him that he has these different variations of himself. And there's basically a prime Kang who controls everyone as the ringleader of these various Kangs. In addition to this, we also have one variant who's Iron Lad. He's a member of the Young Avengers who kind of takes on that Iron Man sort of mantle, right? And kind of avoids his villainous future basically by joining the Young Avengers. So there's a lot of different opportunities here for him.
So Iron Lad is a Kang, like a version of.
He's a Kang.
I'm clueless about it. That sounds very interesting now.
It's really cool stuff. It's epic and Shakespearean in nature, right? Of like, oh, your destiny, is it forged by you or is it predetermined? Which is a big theory or concept in Marvel right
and
now.
when you deal with like multiple versions of the same person, it could get really annoying. Which
absolutely.
I hope they don't annoy me too much. But Jonathan Majors, he's great. I mean,
incredible.
If he plays all the different versions of Kang, I'm welcome to that. He does a good job, and he's a great actor. So
absolutely. And that's what it seems like it's going to be right now too.
And every time you mess with time and portals and things like that, yeah, this thing is setting up to annoy me a lot.
Really?
Right.
Why? Just because of all the different things going on?
When you're dealing with different copies of the one entity, and it feels like it can never die. There's a big part in the middle where you're going to get a lot of that.
Yeah.
And that could be something that really annoys me. It's like that bug where you like an ant's on you flick it off, but then you find another one right on your knee.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And infinite amount of ants.
Yeah.
And things like that kind of annoy me, like if they go on with it too long. Now, if these versions are completely different and it's a different setting, like let's say in the future, in the past, that could be very entertaining. But if you keep it in the same place and it's just the same guy and like, that could annoy me.
Absolutely.
Like, you know?
And I think you bring up a great point here then too. If it's an ant you can't kill, right? It keeps coming back. It's like a cockroach. You really, really kind of deflate the stakes here then. Because if no one is permadead in a universe, which is a very big issue I find in a lot of comic properties, then you take away all the stakes because people need to have life and death situations. Villains need to rise and fall in order for people to be really, really invested in a story.
And that's the consequence with involving time travel and things like that in a villain, where you can do that or you can kill people. I am very excited for Jonathan Majors. If these characters, Kangs, are completely different and he plays all of them, wow, we're gonna see the range on this dude.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that because I believe he can do it. He can pull it off. He's going to be Oscar Isaac. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But a lot more personalities, maybe, you know, and I hope they involve like different eras in time where it could be not only a completely different Kang, but the setting changes, everything, you know what I mean? Like how he interacts, just so we could see this dude. Cause I believe in this guy. This guy's the next, he's the bad guy in Creed 3.
Yeah.
So I want him to show out in this show. So because like he's gonna be really good in Creed 3, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Just the way he plays that. I think he's gonna play that cool, like sort of nothing bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, you're a little punk kid, you know, you haven't been on the streets I've been through this. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, he's a force. I mean, Lovecraft County. He was incredible in that. I'm so glad he's having a moment. I do want to jump back into this question, though, about Kang fitting into Ant-Man in particular here. Do you think Kang is a weird kind of adversary for Scott Lang to go up against? Does it make sense to you?
Well, if Scott Lang could go, to be honest, I don't know much about what Scott Lang could do, like completely do. I know he could go into the quantum realm, whatever, but I don't know how that would work against a Kang. Now, from what I know, I don't think he has a shot. But of course he's going to have a shot or else he wouldn't be the villain. I don't know.
Well, it's not, we can assume probably at this point, it's not just going to be Scott Lang by himself in this film. He's kind of got a team surrounded by him. But he did open up, the doors to time travel originally in the MCU, right?
This is very true.
And here's the master of time. He's probably going to have words with him.
Exactly.
And I mean, look, the comics do open up the the idea of the Council of Kangs and Kangs uniting throughout other throughout the multiverse. I know we've had questions in the past where it's like, well, is Kang just moving through time in the same universe? No, I mean, he has contact with the Council of Kangs from other universes and time. So yes, it can get pretty convoluted. I understand where, like, in the past, Rob has complained about this. My 2 cents is, though, let Marvel explain it. Yeah. And then let's get there, and then we'll find out. I get it; it's frustrating, it's a little convoluted right now, but let's just give them a chance to explain themselves.
Right. We'll give them a little breathing room. My hope here is that we kind of make this all come together: the variants, the timelines, the quantum realm, with the concept of Chronopolis, which is where Kang pretty much resides. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, is how you can access it through the quantum realm.
Oh, okay.
So that, I think, is our link here. You tell me if I'm wrong here, though, you guys. I make mine Marvel, but a lot of the deep cuts I'm not as familiar with.
All I know is as soon as it's done, let's close it up. I want it all closed. I don't want all these possibilities to like boggle my mind. It's like, like you said, there's no consequence, and we need consequence eventually.
There is no end to the MCU now, Ray. It's an infinite loop of MCU for the rest of our
forever and ever. Well, guys, the question is up for you, though. How do you think that Kang is going to fit into the greater MCU? Is he the next big bad? Are we going to see multiple versions of him, all played by majors? What are your thoughts? Jump down below and let us know. All right? Well, before we dive into our next topic, we are going to throw it over to our friends over at ExpressVPN. Protect your stuff.
Guys, we want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. Now, you guys have all already heard about ExpressVPN. I've talked about it a number of times in my videos. It's the best way to protect your privacy online and to give you that security online that we all need. And there's another practical reason why viewers of this show love using ExpressVPN. Take Netflix, for example. You see, thousands of shows on Netflix are only available outside of the US, so you need to change your country if you want to access them, and ExpressVPN lets you do just that. Because what the ExpressVPN app does is it encrypts your data and reroutes it through server locations of your choice. This not only protects your data, but it also lets you control which country you want Netflix to think that you're in. ExpressVPN lets you choose from over 90 different countries, so every time you run out of stuff to watch, you can just fire up the app on your laptop or smart TV, switch your country, and hit connect. And once you refresh your page, you'll get a brand new selection of shows. It's just that simple. And those reasons and many more is why ExpressVPN is the #1 rated VPN provider by publishers like TechRadar and The Verge. So guys, visit expressvpn.com/Campea right now and get 3 extra months of their service for free. That's expressvpn.com/Campea. Go to expressvpn.com/Campea to learn more.
And thank you again to the folks over at ExpressVPN. Remember, y'all, when you use these Campea codes, you not only are getting a great deal for yourself, but you are helping support this show, and we greatly appreciate that. So with that done, let's jump into topic number 2. This comes from Box Office Fan. Love and Marriage.
Yes.
Fox is bringing back its classic Married with Children, complete with the original cast, as a cartoon. The first thing to ask is, can the Married with Children comedy work today? Some of its jokes won't fly today. Can this show work today? All right, thanks so much for that, Box Office Fan. And yes, this was a staple in the 1990s. Good old Al Bundy sitting on the couch, hand down his pants, kicking it with Katie Seagal. Oh my gosh, Christina Applegate was on this show, and I just wanted to be her. She was the coolest girl, even though, bit of a burnout. I just thought she was so rad. I loved this, and this was originally on Fox, of course.
Oh my God, I remember the intro too. It had Peg Bundy smoking a cigarette while cooking. There's a lot of, now that viewer brought it up, there's a lot that I could think about where I'm like, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Or they would have to change it into something modern, like if they could, if it's possible. At first, when we were talking about it while the ad was playing, I was like, I'm so ready for this. But now that that viewer brought up that point, I'm like, I'm not sure if this is going to work without that crude humor that it had when it was on. I guess they could go Family Guy-ish, but we already got a Family Guy.
Yeah.
Why would
My kind of hope here is I think that's why we're doing animation, is because you can kind of push some boundaries a bit more than doing a live action. And it's a little easier, in my opinion, to do satirical things or, commentary on things through the lens of animation because it's already taking itself a little less seriously, right? If you think about the jokes that shows like Harley Quinn can get away with, which are ridiculous and wildly inappropriate, I think that this show could really, really get away with it. The question for me, though, is, Ray, do you think there's an audience for this? Is this just banking on nostalgia for folks who grew up watching the show late 80s, early 90s? How are you feeling?
Is this something that we know for sure they're trying to shop for the national TV, or is it going to be a streaming thing? If it's going to be a streaming thing, you'll have the people who loved the show before watching it. I'm not sure if it's going to reach any further than that because there's so many choices. Like I was on the animation section of John's Netflix the other day and there's so many things there's like even on Apple TV things that look like Family Guy and have like a different there's Bob's Burgers I know was on last night, and then there's like The Great North, I think, with the guy from Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson,
with Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman, he's in that. So it's in a tough competitive field when it comes to like that stuff. I think
so, and I believe it's Sony Pictures who's doing this one. We've got some information from Deadline on this, actually. So another classic 90s comedy is making a comeback, an animated revival of Married with Children, headlined by the original series stars, like we talked about, Katie Sagal, Ed O'Neill, of course, from Modern Family, for our younger viewers, Christina Applegate, and David Faustino. It's being pitched to networks and streamers and is getting strong interests, sources tell Deadline. The new take on the 1987 Fox sitcom is written by Family Guy executive producer Alex Carter, who serves as a showrunner. Sony Pictures Television, which owns and distributes the original series, has been working on the animated project for over a year and closed deals with the quartet of Married with Children stars before taking it out. Fox, Hulu, and Peacock are considered logical destinations. So really, really great instinct with the Family Guy comparison here, Ray, of having that showrunner really taking the helms of this.
Oh, now it's going to be on streaming. I really want this to work because I used to watch, or I know Anne, she used to watch Married with Children like every day. And then I would just sit there and watch with her. She was a bigger fan than me, but I liked the show. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. I want them to stick with what worked for the old, like, don't try to change it too much or else you might as well call it something else. Just like people are saying about the Halo show, you might as well call it something else. But if it's enjoyable, I'll watch it. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff competing with it. Absolutely. that will take my attention. And I don't pay for streaming service.
No, John does.
Yeah, John does. So whatever John wants to watch, I'll be watching. If he watches this, then we'll watch this.
Oh, that's great.
That's the way it works.
Jonathan, did you watch this show growing up?
I did. Sporadically. I wasn't exactly encouraged to watch it by my parents.
Same.
Like many people, I was in wonderment that a shoe salesman could own a 2-story home, and they all seemed to be like fairly well dressed. I mean, I feel like, okay, it touches on 2 points. So like the opening scene, well, Peggy's like smoking and making food or whatever. Well, that was even shocking in the late 80s and early 90s when it ran. So I don't feel like you have to change that because they're doing it in a sense of like, well, this is kind of spoofing, right? These people have issues clearly. And then to your point, now you put it in the realm of animation. I mean, come on, South Park and Family Guy get away with murder practically. Exactly. I would have thought this thing doesn't have a chance until I discovered that it's the original cast coming back. That brings in a lot more interest. You are going to have people jumping in for nostalgia's sake. But hey, I say whatever opens the door, it doesn't matter. It's up to you to stay in. So if they have good writing, it's entertaining, and people are tuning in, who cares if it launched on nostalgia? And I think Hulu is probably its best bet for exposure.
I think so.
I feel like, I might be wrong, but I feel like Peacock is where all shows go to die. So if they can land on Hulu, that's going to be great.
But every streaming service needs to have its, that's what got him, the attention. This might, but probably not. I have a question for you guys. Do you think it should stay in the 90s? Like they should write it like they're in the 90s, or should it be that comedy but now, like in the modern era?
So you're saying like almost like Spider-Man 97 or Spider-Man
I'm just
X-Men
saying,
97, where it just is a continuation? I
Yeah,
don't know,
do they
because
keep
then
it back there, or do they do it like the time right now, but with that same sort of humor?
You know,
that
I
actually would sounds better to me.
I
if
think
I'm gonna
probably
look-
in the realm of animation, you don't even have to really like what time is Family Guy, like what, you know what I mean? Like there
Right.
are
That's very
references, so you
true.
kind of
Right.
get it, but you know, you might start painting yourself in a corner if you're trying to stick this in the early 90s and then all your references you're already trying to get people back, and then if you want new viewers, they may not get certain references or whatever. Like why are they doing this? Why this isn't my world? There's no internet, there's landlines, there's barely had pagers. It's just like, and what's a pager? I mean, I think you kind of have to do it now. I mean,
right.
maybe that's the whole thing. It's this family now thrown in how many 30 years later?
I mean, Family Guy still gets a bunch of viewership, right?
Yeah.
Like from I don't watch the show personally, but
It still has pretty good numbers.
so maybe some of that will come out. Maybe it'll get as popular as Family Guy is.
For sure. I love that. Keep it outside of time and keep it farcical, just kind of lampooning old, 1960s shows where it was very common to see people smoking on air.
Right.
And making
Yeah.
us all go, oh, Peg, don't do that while you're making eggs. Gosh. But the question is, y'all, what do you think? Do you think this is a show that people want to watch? Is it banking on nostalgia? Is animation the right move? Let us know. Go downstairs and hit us with your spicy hot takes. All right? Thanks so much. We'll keep rocking and rolling over here with topic number 3. This is going to come from Jeremy Irons is Scar. Like you, John, I am a big fan of Zac Efron, so I was hoping that Firestarter would be a big hit. But instead, it ended up being one of the worst flops in a while, making just $3.8 million at the box office opening weekend. To be fair, the movie wasn't very good, but why do you guys think no one went out to give it a chance? Thanks, and bring on the filthy. Well, color me surprised. A movie that was streaming and released on the same day didn't do well at the box office? That's shocking.
Oh, you know what's funnier? I didn't even know this came out. I actually thought it had already come out. Like we've run stories about it. I thought it was already out. I didn't know it just came out. I don't know. Maybe that's a big reason why it failed, because there's people like me out there that didn't even know.
I mean, the original one, I think, is fine. It's exactly the kind of campy film that you'd want to see. And we had some elements of that in the trailer and everything, right? The liar, liar, pants on fire before she does her little pyro powers. But this didn't look great to me, y'all. I'm going to be very, very honest. Let's see what Forbes had to say about this. So they wrote, the film, which got miserable reviews and a C from CinemaScore amid a noticeably quiet ad campaign, earned just $3.8 million domestic and $5.8 million worldwide over the weekend. To be fair, this is reminiscent of when Universal and Focus were almost single-handedly keeping theaters in business in late 2020 with a slew of smaller-scale studio programmers. Let 'Em Go, Freaky, etc., which would be lucky to crack $4 million on opening weekend. Moreover, Firestarter was offered concurrently on Peacock. And that's what we're talking about. They released it on streaming the exact same day. And frankly, if you aren't advertising your movie as being in theaters, how are you going to get people in seats? How are they going to go run out and go do it? You can sit on your couch and watch this, especially if you're not sure about whether or not you're going to like this movie.
That's right. I don't even remember seeing any trailers for this on TV or before any movie we've watched recently. Jonathan, did you watch the old Firestarter? I didn't.
Oh,
so
I have
no
seen the
clue about
original with Drew Barrymore was the little girl.
it. I see.
I enjoyed it. I think there's a few issues with this, right? So one, you guys mentioned it. Where was the marketing? There's no marketing. No one even knew about this movie. If they did, they weren't even sure when it was coming out. Okay. Number 2, day and date. Please. Okay. This isn't 2020 where movie theaters were closed and everyone started thinking, this is the end of movie theaters. It's all going to go to streaming. First off, no. People thought television was the end of movie theaters. People thought movie theaters were going out of fashion for decades. People love to go out. They want to see things on the big screen. That was just such a false premise.
Absolutely.
But when you're running day and date, that screams we don't really believe in this movie.
It's
1,000%.
It's like releasing a movie in January, in my opinion. It's just like.
Is it safe to assume that now? Do you guys think that if they
Day
day and date
It
that
makes
this
me
movie
think
sucks?
you don't believe in
Yeah.
your film at all, and you're trying to bury it.
Movie theaters are back, and if you're throwing this on your streaming service the same day, you're just trying to get it out there.
Exactly. I mean, just think about how these other studios have been really kind of grappling with when they release something on streaming so that they keep making that box office money, right? This is why Tom Cruise has been so passionate about when things get released on streaming. This is why the Batman, it was really trying to, do we keep that 45-day window when we can keep making money at theaters? If you do day and date, I think it's a stinker.
But I want to know if this who was it? Universal and Blumhouse, I believe, is behind this movie. If they really expected to make a lot of money from this movie. I mean, I love Stephen King, but this is one of the movies where I would think would have just released on streaming instead of like in the theater. I mean, especially right now. I mean, it's a horror film, right? It's supposed to be, or a thriller or something like that.
It's supernatural elements.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually think that it did better than I thought it would, looking at those numbers.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I
I
mean?
think it did exactly what it showed based on your response. Was it even out yet? I didn't know. I mean, well, that was where you got your $3.8 million.
I will tell you, a Blumhouse release that is worthy of the theater, and that's Black Phone, which should be
you
coming
guys
out in a
loved
month or
that.
two. Check it out. It's nuts. It's a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. So, you know, if you're gonna skip on this one, don't miss that one.
Which I think a lot of people did skip on this one.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. And it sounds like Peacock is getting their marketing strategies from Netflix. So that's why no one knows about it. But have you watched this film, y'all? Does this make sense to you? Are you not surprised? Are you surprised? Let us know your thoughts on how Firestarter is doing. All right. And with that down, let's move on to topic number 4. This comes from Vanish. With all of the hype around Hayden Christensen returning as Vader for the Obi-Wan series, there better be more than just one scene cameo or 5 minutes of screen time for him. I guess I'm not as worried anymore about it, hearing Christensen say that this will be the most powerful Vader we've ever seen, and confirm that Obi-Wan and Vader will fight. Does this make you more excited for Obi-Wan, and how powerful can Vader be? Well, an actor talking about how this is the best version of his character. I'm so surprised by that, too. Honestly, this does get me a little more excited about this. I'm already very hyped for the Obi-Wan series, and I think Hayden Christensen got dealt a real raw deal because I think he's such a great actor.
I want him to redeem everything that he's gone through.
Exactly. You know, we still give George Lucas all the praise all the time. And you know what? I love George, and I think his concepts are great. That film, we rewatched the prequels on May the 4th, and the dialogue in some of that is just atrocious. Like, what do you do with it? And he directed those.
You watch it with the volume on? Here's a trick.
Watch it without the volume?
Put some music on. It's a great movie.
What we ended up doing is we just fast forwarded through a bunch of it where it was like, Padme, okay, we don't really care right now. All right, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. Okay. I'm so sorry, Ray. I'm just trying to be honest.
I just watched the fight scenes.
That's what we did, and it was great. I really want to see that that edit that oh gosh, what is his name? I'm blanking on it. The lead actor from that 70s show. Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
He did a edit of the prequels that apparently is supposed to be killer that I wish could be released, but you know, copyright infringement.
You know, Hayden Christensen. What has he done lately? I don't know, but
A rom-com with Emma Roberts about pizza.
Pizza. That sounds good right now.
I don't know what else he's been up to.
Yeah, I don't know. But I am looking forward to seeing Vader again. I mean, we'll see if how ruthless he's going to be in the show, or if they're even going to show him like that much. I honestly think they're really swerving us right here.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be like the last episode, maybe an episode and a half towards the end. Like we'll get teases, but we won't get. I don't think we get Hayden, full on Hayden, until the last couple episodes. Just because it seems like, there's a lot of, even though like it was okay with me, Boba Fett. There's still like that. Oh, they could do anything. They're not going to change anything for the fan backlash if there is any. They're just going to keep rolling, having this thing roll, whatever. But I do believe in Obi-Wan, the series in itself. I hope we do get to see a lot of Vader.
I really do. I really, really do. I was a really big fan of Clone Wars and Rebels and everything, so I am excited to see more of their dynamic, because I think that is the selling feature of the prequels, is that it's great when it's Hayden and Ewan on screen together. They have a wonderful, wonderful chemistry when they get to play off of each other, even amidst that dialogue. How do you feel about that power level, though, that Vader supposedly is going to have?
You know, it looks like the odds are stacked against Obi-Wan and whoever's with him, because let's not forget the Inquisitors are there too.
Exactly.
I mean, is this going to be a lopsided thing? Is this not going to end well? I mean,
it feels a little too many cooks right now.
Right.
Got a lot of baddies.
Exactly. Like they're bringing up everything just to give. Oh, well, yeah, of course that happened because he's up against this or whatever. I'm actually excited because I like the Sith, like just the whole thing. But we'll see. I don't know. I really can't say any more about that. I don't know.
Jonathan, amidst the Inquisitors and now a super-powered Vader, how are you feeling about everything going into this series?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. You know, he's got to give the Inquisitors a lot of trouble for Vader to start showing up, or thinking that he's got to show up. So I actually don't think we're going to see. Well, I don't think we're going to see the fight until like maybe the final episode or the last two episodes or whatever. I don't think it's going to be a on again, off again fight throughout the series. And it's going to be something that has to call Vader's attention. The Inquisitors just aren't cutting it. I'm also wondering, and maybe this has been shown in the trailers, but Obi-Wan maybe gets off planet. Because if Vader knows he's there and he defeated, and, you know, obviously he beat him until we see him again on the Death Star. Yeah. If he knows he's just landlocked on Tatooine, he'll just harass him for the rest of his life.
Right.
So this has to be kind of an off-planet kind of thing. So I don't want like everyone's expectations to like build up the hype. We're just getting Vader in full force, like right off the bat. Come on. Exactly. That's not going to happen with the story arc. And I think we're going to have some amazing visuals and story just going with these Inquisitors. I love the idea of the Inquisitors in Rebels. So this alone, honestly, this didn't even need Vader in my opinion. I mean, maybe that's like are you kidding me? But it really didn't.
What if it's a setup to a Vader show? Like at the end of the series, we see Vader.
And we just follow Vader from now until.
I mean, I was hyped on this. If they didn't even show Vader in the trailers, I was already hyped on this. So that's my 2 cents on that.
We don't know the episode numbers on this one.
I believe it's another sixer, isn't it?
Is it another sixer?
Because Disney is just like, why would you?
Yeah, I think that's the format. Season? And yes, now that I think about it, yes, he is off planet at some points in this series.
Okay, perfect. Because if he just was like, he's on Tatooine, I'm going to look him up on the yellow pages.
I'm just going to keep
Kenobi.
ringing this guy's doorbell.
Yeah.
So wait, we got this news of this Obi-Wan series like maybe 2 years ago, or maybe even longer. I don't know, but it was longer than we knew about the Boba Fett series, and yet they're still only giving us 6 episodes. All this time.
All this lead up.
They came to think of the script. We're still only getting 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Thank God. I love 6 episodes. I love short.
That this was
I love short
stuff. Very, very upset. And I'm like, no, this is great. Love it. So happy about it. Guys, are you happy about it? That's what we want to know here. How do you feel about what Hayden Christensen has said here about the super-powered, powerful Vader? How do you feel about the series as a whole? Drop down to the comments below and leave us with your thoughts. All right, y'all. Before we get into our final topic. Oh, or should I wait? I don't do this usually. Yeah. Or do I need to wait till we go to Super Chats?
Yeah, we'll go to the next topic.
We go to Super Chats. We'll just do our 5th topic now. Oh my gosh. Darren Friesen, I'm so professional, y'all. Hey guys, just wondering if you saw that Doctor Strange 2 passed the box office of the original Doctor Strange in just 12 days. It took a 67% drop, but you guys always say the bigger opening movies usually take bigger second week drops. And I saw John's tweet reminding us No Way Home took a bigger drop with 68%, and it did okay. Anyway, what do you think about Strange 2 passing the first one in just 12 days, and why do you think it was able to do that? Well, thank you so very much for writing that in, Darren. We appreciate it. So yeah, this Doctor Strange made exponentially more money than its predecessor. And Ray, you do not look surprised at all by that.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't enough, though. It wasn't 256.
Not for that super chat. What am I saying?
I mean,
not for that hot toy.
yeah. Well, when the John and the Rob are away, the mice steal the hot toys. So I mean, you got several right there that you can just run off with right now.
You know, it wasn't even about getting the hot toy. Really, it's just like
about being
just
right?
getting over on John, like getting a win against John.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the Earth's hardest things to do. So I even give ridiculous predictions just so he'll take the bet
Yeah.
and just hope that prediction will come true. And it didn't work out this time.
That's okay.
I mean, what's
One
normal?
day.
I lost. What's normal? That's normal. But if I win, I have something inside.
Yeah.
It's like a piece of me inside. Like,
How that pride.
Yeah, that
I
pride.
get that. I get
You know,
that.
so
Well, we've got some numbers from Variety to talk to you guys about. They wrote down, in its second weekend of release, the latest installment in Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe has collected $61 million from 4,534 North American theaters. Ticket sales plunged 67% from its opening weekend. However, its sizable decline is not surprising since Doctor Strange 2 is coming off the 11th biggest opening weekend in history with $187 million. I'm going to read that again. The 11th biggest opening weekend in history. After 10 days on the screen, it took less than 2 weeks for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness to outpace its predecessor at the box office. The original Doctor Strange ended its theatrical run in 2016 with $232 million domestically and $677 million globally. Thank you so much, Variety, for all of that information. So yeah, are we surprised by these numbers? Me personally, no.
yeah.
We're coming off of No Way Home, and this installment of the Doctor Strange franchise, this next chapter in the MCU, had so much going for it. We had the multiverse. We were going to get to see the Illuminati, which, you know, Marvel fans were just rabid for. We had Sam Raimi, who has directed another hugely high-grossing superhero film. I think this had all the right stuff to really, really succeed. So to see the numbers doing well is great. This little bit of a plunge totally makes sense, but I'm so glad that this is just barreling through and making those numbers.
You know, I hate to say it, but I think every well, I don't know if I hate to say it, but every Marvel release is gonna be an event now, for
Exactly.
at least for the near future. I meant they could throw up the Squirrel Girl or whatever, a movie.
They better.
And that's gonna get numbers until, you know, they've been such on a streak where people have been like at least okay with what they've seen. My thing is, the worst thing you could ever feel leaving a movie is that you wasted your time.
Absolutely.
It was just a waste of time. You could hate a movie, whatever, but for a movie to make you feel like you wasted your time, that's the worst thing. And I didn't feel that coming off of this. So Marvel's on a good streak with me, and I haven't felt like that way about a Marvel movie for a long time. So until they break that trust, I'm going to keep watching every release, enjoy the moment. Same thing with DC. I mean, I'm a lot more forgiving than a lot of people, but these things are events right now, especially when people are still being picky about what they go see.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised it made its numbers. I was hoping it was more just for
Yeah.
my benefit, but I don't know.
That's true. Guys, we needed to see this movie so much more so Rob could get, Ray could get his win.
Oh, no, I'm not getting it because it had to be opening weekend.
It's
But
true.
if you haven't seen it in 3D,
Ooh.
see it. Just see it. If you're going to see it again, just try 3D.
Have you
Just
gone to the 3D
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I like it so much better than
Okay. I need
because
to do
there's a
that.
lot of shots in there, you know,
Yeah.
that were like the whole time I was watching the normal version, I was like, that would look cool in 3D, which
Yeah.
it was made for. So yeah, if you haven't seen it and want to see it again, go see it in 3D.
Absolutely. Jonathan, are you surprised by these numbers in any way, shape, or form?
No. I mean, if this was over 70% drop, then I'd be like, okay, interesting. I mean, this is normal for these. Okay, everyone is rushing out and opening weekend. They're breaking records for online orders. So of course, if everyone is rushing to the opening weekend, there's not going to be much left for the second weekend other than the hardcore fans or people who are like, I don't want to mess with the crowds.
Yeah.
I'll go the second weekend. I mean, I saw it the second weekend as well. I saw it the first weekend in IMAX, and then I went back and I saw it in Dolby Cinema, which I still feel is just that is the premier way to see any film.
Such a good movie experience.
But you could see definitely there, it was easy. I got my tickets the day of. I mean, there was seats available. This is normal. This isn't, people are like, oh my God, it's over for the MCU. 68, or was it 68%, right? Yeah. No, guys, this is what it would do. If everyone is going opening weekend, there's not going to be, this isn't an IP like everywhere or everything everywhere all at once, where not everyone knows what it's about. So then it carries on word of mouth, and it kind of maintains its box office numbers for a while before petering out. So you've got like that steady inflow of people like, hey, I heard this was cool, and then maybe someone like going back because they want to show their friends. People know the MCU.
Exactly.
This is going to be front loaded. It's normal.
Absolutely. Well, you want to get into the theater before everything gets spoiled for you, right? Sometimes it's spoiled before you even get in there. And so you want to be one of the first people to see it, so that way you can get back on Facebook, get back on Twitter, talk to your friends about the movie. And also, this was a film that, a lot of critics were very polarizing on, saying that this was a particularly scary Marvel film, that this wasn't family friendly.
There wasn't a lot of kids rewatching it this weekend.
For sure.
Which is crazy to think about. Let's say everyone did watch it opening weekend. A lot of these people, the people that are watch it this past weekend, had to be like second viewings, and then you take out kids from all those viewings.
Yeah,
it's respectable, the numbers that it made. I'm surprised it made that much. I didn't think a lot of people were going to rewatch this movie.
Absolutely.
To be honest, I think I didn't have to rewatch it. I rewatched it for the 3D reason, but I didn't have any reason to go rewatch it. If I'm going to be completely honest, so. Yeah.
I mean, granted, it dropped that much. It still made a lot of money the second weekend. It's not like it bombed the second weekend. So,
and it made more than the first, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. You just improve.
Exactly.
As long as you keep going up.
Winning cures all, to quote John Campea. So they keep winning. Do y'all all think these numbers are interesting? Are you surprised that it had this drop off? Are you surprised that it surpassed the previous Doctor Strange? Let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this. All right, now, y'all, we are going to go take a minute to talk to our sponsors, and that'll give us time to open up these super chats for you guys so that you guys can ask me, Ray, and Jonathan any of your movie questions, or just send in some support or some well wishes to John. So before we do that, let's talk to our friends over at Athletic Greens.
Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, when you get really busy, and you guys know that Ann and I are really busy, one of the first things that you sacrifice is eating healthy. And I simply have never eaten enough vegetables in my diet, I admit it. So for a long time, I've been looking for a really good all-in-one supplement that helps me get those nutrients and vitamins that my body needs. And thank goodness I found Athletic Greens AG1. So what is Athletic Greens AG1? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day right. And for me and Ann, it's easy. We get up in the morning, we pour a big glass of water and add one scoop of AG1. So many people today are taking some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. And it's cheaper than getting all those different supplements yourself. And on top of giving you all those vitamins and nutrients, it also supports better sleep and quality of recovery, and supports mental clarity and alertness. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/mailbag. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/mailbag to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
And thank you to everyone over at Athletic Greens. How you doing,
made
Ray?
it.
We made it.
I just want to thank everyone for watching. We were put in this situation, and I wasn't prepared, to be honest.
Yeah.
I walked in, I was like, Rob's not going to be here. Everyone knows that I'm not really a lead, informative talking guy, so I'm trying my best. I just want to thank everyone for putting up with it. Hopefully we could get back to normalcy.
Yeah, you're
like
doing
tomorrow.
great, Ray.
I mean, because, I'm just like the side guy. Gotta comment.
Not just the side
do a flip,
guy.
Spider-Man. And then I walk off. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying my best. let's run
You're
through
doing
this.
great. You're doing
you
great
might you
value.
might see yourself as the side guy as far as on camera, but listen, for me speaking off camera, and yes, guys, I will be getting a camera.
You really need a
will
camera.
happen. It's
now.
just been a whirlwind of getting this studio set up and making sure everything. This isn't our only studio. We have a second studio I'm trying to build out here too. So I will get on camera. We got to figure out what kind of angle we want and how we're going to set it up. There's a lot to it. But let me just say, this show, this channel, listen, Ray is an integral part of it running.
Yeah.
All the graphics you see.
It's all him.
Most of the edits that you see right now, all of our segments, everything, that's Ray. That's
The
Ray
majority
doing
of the
it.
joy.
So there is no side show here. Everyone
But
is
you
important
know
to
what
how
I
this
mean.
runs. If he was a sideshow, then today's show wouldn't even be airing because why would any of us be here?
I'm trying.
Right.
You know, I'm
You're
hoping to
doing great.
drop as much knowledge as I know, but usually I get most of my knowledge from you guys. That's why I appreciate this. Like I said, what I used to be into before was music. I used to listen to every garage band, every local band. I used to go to the local store, and that was my thing. Like music, like I used to follow music. Movies was like the second thing, but being on the show, it's brought me more knowledge about things that I never thought I would be that interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so like I appreciate the show. I appreciate the audience for at least sticking with us today.
Yeah, we
I
really
mean,
do.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be in the host seat, but I really was like, but I'll have Rob to double check all of my Marvel information.
I mean, it really was like we found out like 15 minutes before airtime. So thank you guys for all of your patience. Like we're here just trying to have fun with you guys, talking about what's going on in the movies and the TVs.
The TVs.
And the TVs and the
Yeah.
streamers.
So we're
And-
having fun. I hope you guys are having fun too.
Yeah, thanks for sticking it out with us today, y'all. All right, let's jump into some super chats then. Okay. So, Dr. Heroe sent in some support. Thank you so much. A. Marcellus. I know the comics are the comics, but I hope Kang is really fleshed out in the movies because he has so much backstory to work with. Yes. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff here. And I think with an actor like Campea, right, I think he's going to want all those juicy, juicy details to work with and incorporate. And if you are doing variations so that it doesn't become something annoying and gimmicky like you were talking about, Ray, I think you need really, really strong character development and background.
He's going to be interweaving between Disney Plus and the movies.
That's what it feels like, right?
Which would be very interesting. Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope we really, really dive in there, Marcellus. Thank you so much. All right. What's
Sorry.
next? No worries. From Fifi. Great job, Chris and Ray. You're doing great, John, Chris and Ray. You're doing great. There we go. Wow. I just proved how good we are with that complete lack of literacy.
She's actually doing everything, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, I can't see the screen to read the stuff, and I can't really lead a show. And I'm like, Chris is doing
could read.
everything.
Everyone in the chat wants you to do a show. They want you to be the host next. I think that'd be fun. I'd be all in.
Ray is now dripping sweat.
Well, thank you, Fifi, for saying that. That was very sweet of
thank
you.
you.
From Arun, big support to Chris, Ray, and Jonathan. Thank you for holding down the fort. You could have easily canceled today's show, but you chose to be with the community. Amazing job today. John will be proud. I hope so. Otherwise, you might. This is the last time you're seeing this.
We won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, man. All right. From Dr. Bright, y'all are doing an amazing job today. Thanks so much, you guys. Sam Fisher. Pixar just announced a new movie. It's called Elemental and is being directed by the same person who did The Good Dinosaur, Peter Sohn. Oh, okay.
I think I heard about this one.
Yeah?
Isn't it about like what it says it is? Like water, like the elements of
Like
Earth?
their version of the Avatar, or maybe I'm going to double check here. Elemental
Was I
Pixar.
dreaming? That'd be amazing.
It'd be
if I was dreaming.
amazing. Okay, so they've dropped some concept art for this.
What does it look like?
Elemental, I'll show you.
Oh, yeah.
Elemental journeys alongside an unlikely pair, Ember and Wade, in a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together. The fiery young woman and the go-with-the-flow guy are about to discover something elemental. How much they actually have in common. Oh, I'd watch the heck out of that movie. Oh, man, thanks for letting us know that. That is great. And Jonathan, are the super chats still running, or are those
Oh,
closed
we
off?
closed super chats now.
Okay, we did close those. All right, just saw that we got some people asking if they were still open. All right, Elizabeth Gerardo. Chris, you're doing amazing as host. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate you. All right. From Ryder, quote, and if you think I'm evil, well, just wait until you meet my variants. Seemed like a tease from He Who Remains that makes the report have substance. Absolutely, we hear that line in Loki, right? Of he's the lesser evil. He's the more palpable variant to deal with. So we're probably going to see some real sinister stuff from Kang.
He's looking to be very formidable against all the superheroes. I mean, he could really wreck things, mess things up. So
I think so. All right, what's next? From Calvin. Hey, Chris, love you all. Plus, love you hosting. Thank you. So Tennant and Tate are back as Dr. Ten and Donna for the 60th year special. How do you feel about it? Okay, I feel great about it. Because at first, I was very upset when people were talking about bringing back David Tennant as the next iteration of the Doctor, which I was like, why would we do that? He's been the Doctor before. He just reincarnates to be himself again. For why? But this is exciting, especially because Russell T Davies hasn't let us know exactly what these two are doing. Are we finding them at a point in time on their actual travels? Is this the other Doctor, who went off with Rose Tyler, with that version of that Catherine Tate, Donna Noble? Or are we just, the possibilities are endless here. I'm so excited. And I love that pairing too. I think David Tennant is just an incredible performer. He was my Doctor. He's how I fell in love with that show. And Donna Noble is absolutely my favorite companion. If you want to see more stuff of the two of them together, I highly recommend checking out their performance of Much Ado About Nothing together. And also they're on DuckTales together. It's very cute. All right. From Mikey, just want to know what Ray thinks of that scene in the last Halo episode. What's that scene?
if he's talking about the one in the front half of Halo, I have no thoughts on it. I could live without it. But if he's talking about the other scene on the back end of Halo, I want more of that. That's what we want. I mean, I said it again. I'll say it again. I can't wait for this finale because I think it's going to be all of the back end of that last episode. It's this week. It's coming up.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Excellent. All right. From Noah. Yesterday marked Ray's first 6 months of the show. Congrats.
Is it?
You've been on
Someone's
the show
keeping
forever.
track of that?
Congrats. Ray, are you happy you made the decision to join the show?
You know, the one thing about the show was I'm not built to be like John, where like if people recognize you and stuff, I'm very like just in my shell, like even till now. Like I'm just a normal dude. I mean, I play video games. I say what's on my mind a lot, and sometimes I may get in trouble for it, but I do agree with I'm the voice of the people.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal guy who is not too critical about things. That's why when John said to get on the show, I was like, okay, I'll crack jokes, but I don't need a camera on me. I mean, there's a certain thing where if people recognize you, like you have to be a little, like if you want to do that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm not being recognized everywhere. Like I'm saying I'm big time, but it's one of those things where if you cross that line, there's certain changes. Some people, of course, like big changes. Yeah. Others, it's like small, but it's like those things you just have to get used to. I love talking to you guys, but like it's like the camera thing is still hard for me.
You do such a good job, though.
Yeah.
My friends Tiffany and Travis, who got to meet you at CinemaCon, like you're their favorite part of the show. They love you so much. That's why Tiffany was so excited to talk to you about Moonfall. Where she was just like, heck yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Raise a man of the
I didn't
people.
know 6 months. That's crazy.
Happy 6 months.
Yeah.
I've always thought of you on the show. So
yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
6 months. It only took 8 years to finally get him on.
Yeah. From Chef Rigo.
Chef Rigo.
Yes.
Good job, guys. Oh, thanks, Chef Rigo. ABD sending in a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, ABD. The Chris Carr and Ray Ora show featuring producer Jonathan. Really appreciate you guys doing the show today. Thank you so much. And thank you for supporting the channel on that level. Yeah, we're just flying by the seat of our pants, guys. So we're just so happy. I can't believe that over 3,000 of you have stayed in this room. I really, really appreciate it. It's awesome.
You guys can't see, but I moved this super fan right here, and it's on high. It's beaming on me because as soon as I got the news that it's just me, Chris, and Jonathan right there, but he's not on camera, so
He
there's
literally
no
is like, I need
pressure.
to get my fan.
Like the fan is blowing on me. I'm surprised I don't fly away because I would be sweating buckets right now.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's right, Nick. From Al Renshaw again. Speaking of movies that wasted my time, Dragon Ball Evolution did that for me. That was the worst movie I've ever seen. It was complete dog shit. Oh, I hate this movie. I hate this movie so hard. Did you see this?
Why do I laugh every time someone, when it comes up, dog S, when that comes up? I always laugh when you guys read that. That is the best description of anything that's crap.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
Yeah.
Man, that movie was so bad. It was a live action version of Dragon Ball Z with just like all white people playing all the parts. And it was just so horribly done.
Wasn't it the Jamie Chung girl on there?
She's in it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But like Goku is just some like bro.
You know, there's a Dragon Ball movie that I ran into that's on YouTube. It's made by some YouTuber. I forgot what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Was it The Fall of Man or something like that?
Ooh.
That looked really good. And it was supposed to have a follow-up, but I
Mm-hmm.
never even bothered to check to see if they even continued. But it was way better than that movie.
The fan-made stuff when it comes to live action anime is so dope because there's just this commitment to the action and to the aesthetic and everything. And I know that's not what entirely makes a film or makes an adaptation good, but when you see that passion and love and it's true to the franchise and true to the original, it's so nice.
How come it works that way when it comes to YouTube, but then like, let's say this one director's, chosen to helm this franchise where he's a big fan. How come it just doesn't turn out to be sometimes like the YouTube thing where we see the passion and we love it? How come it never translate into it? Because that's where I think you're right. Studio interference probably happens.
Absolutely. I think that's the issue.
Even though they get to direct the movie, are they really directing? I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. It really sucks because a lot of the stuff made by people who love the franchise, the property, is good for what it is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is where I wish Rob was here because he did all the behind the scenes footage, right, of all the X-Men films and all that. And so I always love that insight of what was really going on behind the curtain. Because we hear what directors and writers say. And obviously when you're on contract with a studio, you want to have a good relationship. If you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. But I do always wonder, certain choices, how much the studio played into that and how much a director decided to go their own way. Yeah. Thanks for writing in about that horrible movie. From Tyler V602. Hey guys, I finally got to see Doctor Strange. Unfortunately, it was the worst movie experience I ever had. These 4 kids were talking the entire time. One even answered a FaceTime call like he was at home. Oh, I don't know if you all have experienced this, but I have had really, really bad movie going experiences lately because I feel like after viewing everything at home in the pandemic, we just became really bad movie watchers where we're watching stuff on our phone while we're watching things, which I'm guilty of at home for sure. I'll, be browsing Instagram like an idiot and then be like, oh yeah, my movie. But people are doing it in theaters. I say this really rude thing where I lean over and say, I'm so sorry. I didn't pay to see you or hear you talk.
Right.
Could we not?
And I think it doesn't help too that some of the theaters, they've spread out the seats. Everyone seems to have like their own space now. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a part of it. Like, oh, there's enough room. I'm not getting in the way. I'm just right here like this. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Sometimes you just end up in a theater with just a bad batch.
A bad batch, yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I mean,
that stings.
If it really took you out of the movie to the point where it changes your opinion of the movie, if that experience was that bad, I might have just asked for a refund. I would have walked out and been like, hey, can I get another showing? Or something like that.
I know the Regal's really, really good about maintaining that kind of stuff.
That's what originally drew me to ArcLight, which is kind of no more right now, is that they had people kind of overseeing and there was no tolerance. I've seen people ejected from the theaters there. And I do seem to notice a little more attention to that at AMC's now.
Oh, that's good.
But like, you go to the ArcLight back when it was open, that was a big thing. I had a terrible experience like that too. This is going back to the Alamo.
At the Alamo?
Yeah, the movie The Alamo, Disney's The Alamo.
Oh, okay.
There are these, this is going back like probably, I don't know when it came out, like 20 years ago. And these 2 girls were in the very back of the theater and they just kept talking and talking loud. Like just like how we're talking and laughing and giggling. And one of my friends had gotten up to use the restroom, and I thought they went to like go, tell whatever. the staff. And then they came back. I'm like, did you tell them? Did you tell them these people won't shut up? And he was like, no, I just went to the bathroom. And that enraged me so much. At that very moment, they started giggling and laughing even louder. I stood up in the theater and it said, shut up! And I sat down and you didn't hear a peep from them for the rest of
The rage of a quiet man. Oh my gosh.
I'm interested to know if these kids that were at his theater, I'm going to assume they already watched the movie, maybe.
I would hope so.
Because if that's the first time they're viewing the movie and they're FaceTiming,
Yeah.
what are you even there for? I mean, especially if you paid
Yeah.
the prices for theater seats right now. Sheesh.
If you're in an AMC,
Yeah, you
it's
could do
just
that
because
outside.
Nicole Kidman's like, FaceTiming feels good in a place like this.
You know,
Go for
yeah.
it. Oh, man. I'm sorry your experience was like that. Hopefully your next movie-going experience is much, much better.
And also, we missed Andy here, so I just wanted to...
Andy!
My Riverdale buddy. I'm sorry, bud. I'm in on all the chaotic goodness of just having Chris and Ray on today. Thanks for all you guys do. It is just chaotic energy. I'm just like, let's just do this thing, I guess. Just trying our best.
Yeah.
From Harv's K. Hi, Chris, Ray, and Jonathan. Great job holding down the fort. What is your favorite Studio Ghibli film? Mine is Nausicaa. Oh, I haven't seen that one. Do you watch those films?
You know, I've been wanting to, is Ghibli, do they make Princess Mononoke?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, Princess Mononoke is theirs.
Okay. Well, I was working at this video store when that came out, and a lot of people were renting it, and they're saying it was good. And I think I want to watch that movie. The only one I've seen is the delivery service one.
Kiki.
And I really like that one. But I think that's the next one I'm going to watch when I have the time to watch it. But yeah, that's the one I'm going to watch next.
Oh, nice. Jonathan, did you watch those?
They are very high on my list. I've got quite a few I plan on watching. I know it's like they've been coming out for like decades now.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. I'm a big fan of Howl's Moving Castle.
That's the one.
That
That's
one's
what I was
great.
going to ask you. What do you suggest?
Howl's Moving Castle is awesome. Princess Mononoke is very like bloody, and so I think people aren't prepared for that all the time.
Oh.
But it's really good.
Different
It's
from
really
Kiki's
good.
then.
Very different from Kiki's.
What about isn't there like a Spirited, didn't they make Spirited Away or something like that?
I think. Yeah,
There's
they did
something
Spirited
like
Away.
a sad.
My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, they've done some real heart-wrenching things. It's beautiful, beautiful storytelling. What I think you'd love the most about them, and this is what I really love, food is featured so prominently in these films in like a beautiful love languagey kind of way that makes me really, really happy. Like in Porco Rosso, they like eat Alfredo, and it's a very, very big point. In Howl's Moving Castle, making breakfast is a big point. Ponyo, which is most people don't really like Ponyo. I love Ponyo. And she just like eats ramen and she'll scream about ham, and I love her.
I want to ask you if I had to choose between the Howl's, what's it called?
Howl's Moving Castle.
And Princess Mononoke. What do you say is the winning thing for each one of them, or the description you could describe each? Like, and you know me by now. Like,
Yeah.
am I making the right choice between those? Because like that was the other one that I was gonna.
I feel like, Howl's Moving Castle, maybe you might prefer, but Princess Mononoke is a masterpiece. It's brutal. Oof. Chat, weigh in.
Okay. Also,
tell me-
chat.
tell
I
me
have
what you watch.
a question to ask the chat. Is it just me, or whenever, even if it's a cartoon, it resembles it a little bit? Like when I see like a cartoon eating like let's say they're pulling out the chopsticks and they throw something in their mouth.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for whatever that thing is.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like cartoons making you hungry shouldn't be, to me, doesn't make sense, but it always happens.
It always does.
Especially when like in the Spider-Verse, when poor Spider-Man is eating that hamburger. I'm like, man, that looks like the best
Makes me want to
burger
eat a
I've
burger.
ever seen.
1,000%.
Hey, I almost clicked on Howl's Moving Castle last night. I know it doesn't quite count, but
Tell me
I
it has a
almost
werewolf
did.
in it.
It was on HBO Max. I'm like, tonight's going to be the night I start these. I almost clicked on it. I did not.
Wait,
I'm
you're telling me
sorry.
it doesn't have a werewolf in it?
No.
Howl's Moving Cat? Howl, like Howl at the Moon?
No.
Oh,
Oh, okay, so maybe you'll go into this movie disappointed then.
oh. I actually thought there was a wolf in it. I'm being completely honest.
There might be a shot of the moon.
Some
Okay,
stuff. You'll have
Princess
some-
Mononoke it is.
A bunch of people saying you can't go wrong with Princess Mononoke. So
Okay.
maybe that's where you go.
Okay.
Also, thanks for the people who love Ponyo in here. Yeah, Ponyo, she's a little fish.
I will say at Barnes and Noble, when I passed by the Ghibli section, man, they have the cutest characters. Like their merchandise is really
All
cool.
the like My
It's
Neighbor
really
Totoro
expensive.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. I love it. All right. From Leo Liang, Chris, Ray, and Jonathan are killing it today.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know about that, but I appreciate you, Leo.
I hope you don't mean that literally.
Of killing the
We
show.
still don't know how he means it. Yeah, we still don't know what he means by that.
Yeah,
could
are
be
we
saying,
killing the show? Are we
"Thank you."
killing the
Like,
brand?
no, you're
Literally
killing
killing.
it.
The performance, we're killing it.
All right. From Nicholas, great job today, you three. Thank you so much. From Bama Ham Yum, my favorite username. Chris, Ray, and Jonathan, you guys did so good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
I want to point out what sucks is look at here. Rob, if you're watching, me and Chris, we both brought
We
you.
brought you presents.
I left your birthday gift bag in your office.
Yeah.
And Chris
I brought you a card. I brought you some
and
brownies.
some brownies.
Which Ray and I are going to eat
I
now.
might eat these, Rob. I'm sorry, but that's your loss, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Look, that looks amazing. Please text me, Rob, if I can take a piece of
If
this
I
because
eat
I'm
your
being
brownies.
completely serious.
I can just bring more.
Oh, okay.
They're like $2 from Trader Joe's. Happy birthday. Your present's $2. From Sin Vendetta. Chris, with this being your first time hosting, you're doing an amazing job. Oh, thank you. You're killing it. Ray, it's been great seeing you keep growing into your own. Jonathan,
just
love your
growing in
input on the
general.
show. Oh,
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Sin. That's real
Trying.
sweet.
Well, that's John always warned us about things like this
Yeah.
maybe happening, and it happened today,
It did.
and we weren't prepared at
We
all.
were not.
And you know what? I feel so bad because I walked in maybe 5 minutes late, and I walk in and I already see Chris at her computer, and she looks very, very. I hate to say it, but like you look very, very
Yeah, I was
nervous, and I'm like,
nervous.
oh man, because like we didn't know you were hosting until maybe the night before when we got that email where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Chris, let's
I
see
was
what
like,
Chris,
okay.
and I'm like, wait a second, and then I walked in and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything to Chris. I'm not gonna.
Get her
I know
nervous?
she's in her own little zone right now, and you're doing a great job.
It was almost better. We had.
We would the show wouldn't be on if you're gone. It's just me and Jonathan. There'd be no show. So.
I agree with that sentiment 100%. You're doing great.
Thanks,
And
guys.
I would say it's almost better that we were thrown in the hot seat today and not have to like think about it all
Yeah.
night. Like,
That's
oh, Rob's
true.
not here either. It's just
Yeah.
listen, guys. I mean, we've all had plenty of experience running live broadcasts and stuff. It is no easy thing to be told, hey, you guys, all of the normal hosts are gone today. You guys are running the show. It's live. People
Yeah.
are watching you. The pressure's on. Just
Ray?
go do it.
We're usually just here to make jokes.
I literally, I can't even describe to you, like, I don't know many people who, if they were told that, wouldn't just be like shaking in their boots. Before
well, that I mean that could be true right
but,
now.
but you're still manifesting that energy, and it's great. I mean, I told the Chris and Ray today, like, look, guys, just forget about being nervous. Let's just go on and have fun, engage with the community, and let's just do this.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Yeah. When I hosted for YouTube before on my channel, I'd write my scripts and I'd read a teleprompter. And
Yeah,
then
because that's
I'd
what I
go
could tell
off.
you. I
Yeah.
could tell, like, as soon as I walked in and I saw your stance, and I was like, this lady takes a lot of preparation
Yeah.
in these things, and like that's why I didn't say anything. I was like, let her. Let's hope this all goes well. I mean, we literally didn't find out Rob was coming until like 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting in this chair. Yeah, but yeah. Well, let's do it. I mean,
and
we're
just so
prepared
everyone
now.
knows too, I see you go in chat. Rob is not here because he partied too hard for his birthday. All right. He's got some extenuating circumstances. So
Yeah.
just show Rob some love, not any like Heineken flu jokes. Okay.
Right.
All right. We love Rob. From Al Ridshaw. Now that Marvel and Charlize herself confirmed it publicly, how do you think Clea will figure into the MCU? Do you think she will appear in another MCU property before Doctor Strange 3? Oh, okay. I don't. I think she'll only be in Doctor Strange 3 because in the comics she is one of his love interests.
I have no say in this. I don't know the character.
Yeah.
I'm completely honest. I saw her. I was like, oh, that's Charlize Theron. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. I was expecting a car. Vin Diesel to come out. I mean, that's where I last saw her. I don't know anything about the character. Is she an Inhuman? Is that what?
I believe she's another magic wielder. And his successor is Sorcerer Supreme. So, I mean, maybe we'll see her involved more in the other MCU films when they do team ups and things like that.
Okay.
But I feel like she'll probably stick to being a Doctor Strange character unless this is wildly successful and Benedict Cumberbatch wants to bow out and then we elevate Clea. But I don't know.
Quickly, Benedict Cumberbatch is owning this role. Like I've never seen it. He's almost, well, for me, he's almost to the point where I don't want to see any other Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Even after 2 movies and all his appearances, the same way I feel about Iron Man. I don't want to see any other Iron Man or Captain America. But Captain America was Human Torch, so maybe that one I could see a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he's owning this role. I don't want to see anyone else play this role.
Yeah.
Just create another character or bring in another character like Strange. Benedict is my Strange. Well, at least for my lifetime, I hope.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I love him in the role. All right. From Nariman, Multiverse of Madness was the first and only film I wanted and did see twice in theaters. I loved it so much. This and Thor Ragnarok are my top Marvel movies. Oh, I love that. That's so great for you. I'm glad you really enjoyed this. Ragnarok's super fun.
that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Because Thor is coming up next.
Exactly.
That could be
Hopefully-
your new favorite.
Yeah, you'll have a nice little trifecta going here. Awesome. Thank you for writing that in. Sam Fisher, 1 of 2. Oh, all caps. So we're going to be very excited. David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and Bernard Cribbins are coming back for the Doctor Who 60th anniversary. Fuck yeah. Yes.
Oh, here's part 2.
I really want Capaldi and Matt Smith to come back too. I would love to see them written by Russell T Davies instead of Stephen Moffat. Excuse me. I would love that as well. I think Stephen Moffat did a really nice job at the beginning of Matt Smith's run here when he was doing all of the Amy Pond storylines. He does really great little connections when he's building things, which I think works out well. And then I think the series did get a little away from him during Matt's run, during Capaldi's run. I think Peter Capaldi was a great doctor. I really loved him. It was so nice to have a Scottish doctor. That was very exciting. I don't know if they'll have another big, massive team up though, like they did for the 50th anniversary. Maybe. We'll see. Do you watch any Doctor Who, Ray?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I do want to ask this question because I've asked it before when this viewer had sent in a question. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Sam Fisher is?
Do I know who Sam Fisher is?
Jonathan? Name
no.
me where you know Sam Fisher from. Or have you heard that name before?
Have we met Sam Fisher?
It's maybe it might be a little bit out the. It's the lead from Splinter Cell, the Tom
Oh,
Clancy
right.
games.
Yes.
Sam Fisher.
I haven't played Splinter Cell in probably like its earliest iterations. So yeah.
I was just curious to see if you guys knew because I've brought that question up before.
Oh, Dip, I need to double check this, but Mike Cat put this in the chat that Clea is Darum Amu's adopted daughter. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, she's part of the family. She's from the Dark Dimension. She is a little bit. You can think of her kind of like how in Guardians, well, up until Guardians 2, how Star-Lord was.
Ego.
He was human, but he also had powers, which is why he could have held on to the Power Stone and not be fried. And then, of course, then we saw him lose that power as a sacrifice. But she's kind of like a half mystical being, and so she's not as powerful as them, but she is very powerful, and she is from the Dark Dimension. And that's also why I think unless there's some kind of Disney Plus show in the future where it incorporates the goings on of Doctor Strange, we're not going to see her until Doctor Strange 3. But yes, all in the family. She's kind of part of that.
Oh, nice. Okay. That makes her much more interesting to me. I need to read more of these Doctor Strange comics. Abel Leone. Yesterday, Rob. Today, Chris. Tomorrow, Ray. Please.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
You and me, Ray.
No way, man. You would have the most non-clear reading front man ever. I'd be like, what's that word say? No. Let's not do that. Please don't give John any ideas.
I love it.
I'll play a video game and I'll talk to you guys. But I can't. No, that would be too
I
nerve.
think you'd do an awesome job.
We'll see.
All right.
I went from now. We'll see. As soon as you said, I think I even cut you off. I was waiting for you to say that.
From Jake Lockley. Great job, Chris. Thank you. Love you guys. Even Ray.
Wow, even Ray. Nice.
See, that's exactly what I'm thinking the chat is feeling. I love you, Chris. Okay, Ray, if he has to be there.
No.
Thank you for your support.
All right. From Totodile Dundee. I have never thought I would live in a world where Sonic 2 is the best live-action Dragon Ball Z movie ever. Where's my Dragon Ball Evolution sequel? I hated it so... Is it just I hated it so?
Sorry, I cut off a little bit.
All right, much I wanted more. Love you all.
Wait a second. So he liked it. It was so bad he wanted to see
it was so horrible he wanted a sequel.
When's the last time you felt that way about a movie?
I don't think I've ever felt like something was so horrible. No, that's not true. Love is Blind. I was like, I can't wait to watch more of this trash. But that's a TV show.
I would have to think about mine, but like I'm sure I felt that way about a movie too, where it was so bad.
I want
just
more.
Just give me another one.
Interesting.
Just to make sure. I'll keep that in my head. Maybe I can figure it out.
Yeah, but man, I mean, like Sonic's little Super Saiyan moment there. It's great in that film.
I
love
love Sonic
It's
too.
so good.
I hated that they just didn't save him so they could just release him already. Like, I'm so sad that number 3 is not done.
Yeah,
and it's waiting to
right.
release.
I want that movie now.
Yeah, that's
I want
opening
that
night
movie
for sure,
yesterday.
Chris.
Absolutely.
Opening night.
We need to do
Logan, everybody. We gotta go.
We saw it in the 4DX at my theater, and that's what we should do because then your seat's moving around like while Sonic's running.
I want to go into that theater. I want to.
so fun.
I want to have that experience. You know, we're always at an AMC, which is fine, but you know, if they can't
It's
match
fun.
that,
If y'all want to slum it in the valley, hey, that'll be great. All right, from Al Renshaw. We need to get John to agree to buy Ray a hot toy if Avatar 2 makes $266 million. Hashtag I stand with Ray.
I'm gonna say it again. Thank you for everyone pushing for me to get the hot toy. I already told you at the beginning of the show the real reason why I make these bets.
Yeah.
I meant, if there's anything I'm envious about John it's none of this stuff. It's just his mentality of always wanting to win. I wasn't born with that. Like I wish that some of that would rub off on me.
Yeah.
Like my thing is, you know, make the best of what you have. That's my life motto. But John's mentality is one of those, no matter what you think of him, whatever he gets into, he wants to win at, you know, and he'll do what it takes to win. And you got to appreciate anybody that has that mentality. I'm pretty sure he got that from his parents, like his mom especially. So, you know, that's one thing. And that's why beating him is like means the world, because like I said, if you get into a debate with him and you've studied your whole life this topic, he knows how to talk to you where you start questioning all the schooling you just did. Like he knows the power of debate. It's like, that's why there's some times where I'm like, I want to punch you in your you know, like that, the Iron Man and stuff. Yeah, like it does get like that because he's so good at that. So that, yeah, so
lawyers.
I just want to win. It's not even about if the hot toy comes, that's fine. I just want to win.
Yeah.
You know, I have that one bet over him where he ate ketchup and eggs. And that would probably be my shining glory right there when it comes to me and my relationship with John, beating him and making him eat ketchup and eggs. Yep. I got that one, baby.
Wonderful. Also, Sam Fisher let us know in the chat here, Sam Fisher is his real name. He's older than the Splinter Cell games.
Oh.
Yeah. But fun factoid. I'm glad I learned about Splinter
Every time
Cell.
I hear Sam Fisher, I'm like, come on, make another game, please.
All right.
Cool.
From Harv's K, just a PSA, watch Barry season 3. It's killing it so far. Oh, it's been so good. Do y'all watch Barry?
Who's the star of that? Is that
That is Bill Hader.
No, I haven't. I haven't
It's
seen
great. It's great. When we are off air, I will tell you a Barry story.
it. Okay, Barry story.
Yeah. Oh, that was my most John Campea moment ever. I got some industry info that we'll talk about later, guys.
I got some picks
All right.
on next season you won't ever believe.
It's what?
Oh, no. We'll talk about
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
From Andy, I still can't believe that Riverdale went from murder mystery to Archie and Co. trying to prevent the 1482 nuclear holocaust possibilities Tabitha saw. What is this? Oh, I hit my mic. What is this show now? What is it? I don't understand what's happening. It's completely off the rails.
I have a question, though.
Okay.
The first season, it was normal, right?
Yeah, it
because
was.
even Anne and her friends loved it. They're like, Riverdale is so good.
It was this fun mystery, and it was dark, and it was a little sexy.
And I didn't hear about it after that. And now we go back, and you guys are telling me all the stuff that's... It must have been a crazy change from the first season to the next, because everyone loved it.
It's been this weird burn of slowly, you're like, this is a lot of musical numbers in a show. Okay, this is what... Oh, okay, we got witchcraft now. Oh, all right, that's in... Like, it's just gotten so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
It
I don't
sounds
understand
fun
what's
for a
happening.
writer. anything goes.
That's true.
Dinosaurs next.
Maybe. Oh. Riverdale goes prehistoric. Coming this season on the CW, if the CW is still around.
Oh.
No. From Ben Rayner, have you seen the scariest movie about the future? Idiocracy? Thoughts? Great job, guys. I love that movie.
I actually own that movie.
What?
I
You have it?
rarely
The
buy
physical
things.
media?
Yeah, I bought that
Somewhere
physical
Rob
media.
is smiling.
And you know what won me over is the vending machine McDonald's.
Oh.
Which, not gonna lie, that's what I'm planning to have for lunch today. I'm gonna get a 20-piece McNuggets.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, I've been thinking about it all night. That's my life.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
From Fifi, have you guys seen the trailer for the new Resident Evil Netflix show? Yes, we talked about this on the show last week. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, so I'll try it. Looks less like Resident Evil and more like Netflix just made a zombie show and slapped the Resident Evil name on it. I mean, that's fair. We still have a lot of Umbrella Corporation stuff in there. You and I talked about this. There's a whole separate Umbrella website that's kind of fun to go to.
Yeah,
for that
I
extended
actually thought it was a
trailer.
legit website. Like, for
They did a
something
really
else.
good
Yeah,
job on
I love
it.
those.
And I think it's umbrellaisjoy.com. And that's where you can see a further extended trailer that shows you more of that Umbrella Corporation kind of stuff. And maybe that'll get you more on board with it. But I totally understand that kind of reservation here, though. Maybe it is just going to be Netflix slapping that label on there. Maybe it could be really cool.
Yeah, we know. So we'll have to see another trailer.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, that first trailer didn't do it much. Didn't do much for me.
I needed that secret one on the website for me to get invested.
That
Then
one
I
was
saw
better.
some
I'm glad I
monsters.
watched that one.
Yeah. All right, from Jordan Ellis. Great job, guys. Keep up the good work, and thank you for all that you do. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Power is power. Random question. Random question. Who do you think died more? Doctor Strange against Dormammu, Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day, or Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow? Wow. I mean, there's a for sure answer that is correct for this that I do not know.
I'm going to say Doctor Strange. I didn't see Groundhog Day, and I never want Tom Cruise to die. I mean,
So even when he does, you're like, no.
yeah, I think Doctor Strange did.
Maybe.
Well, you know what? I don't know.
I think it might be Edge of Tomorrow, Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
and then
you're right.
Groundhog
You're right
Day.
because
I'm
I'm
not sure.
Yeah.
I think number-wise, it was Doctor Strange because it probably was like thousands of times or whatever.
That's true.
But I
They
think
just
they
didn't show
did
him.
it best in Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. From Future Millionaire. Oh, I love that for you. Manifest. Rob, you're doing an awesome job. Love you guys.
Well, thanks. Rob
Thanks,
is
Rob,
Rob.
you are crushing it.
Yeah, Rob.
You're doing
happy
so
birthday,
great.
Rob.
Happy birthday.
Here's your card.
We're going to eat your brownies.
he's doing so good. We're gonna eat his.
Hey, Rob, if
brownies.
you're watching, ooh, I'm touching it.
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm not gonna do that.
It falls over. I'm like, oh
Oh
no.
my gosh.
They're gone after today. Sorry.
From Chris Leonardo. Great job holding down the fort, Chris Carr, Ray, and Jonathan. Love watching the show every day. Oh, Chris, thank you so much for watching every day. We really, really appreciate that. And that's a $25 super chat.
Oh, thank
so we
you.
extra appreciate that support, especially when it's
When
just
we're
us kids here.
unemployed tomorrow.
Yeah.
You want to split it between us?
We're only going to get 10-piece nuggets forever.
Jonathan will be here. But me, we'll be outside.
We're going to be gone. We're going to put us out to pasture. Connie, love you guys. Ray, you're better than you think. Can't wait for the next buffet trip. Aw, yay, Connie. I love her.
Yeah, the buffet trip. Oh,
Did
you
have
didn't?
so,
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
you
go
didn't
because
go.
it
Yeah,
was so late.
you know, when I saw
I ate at 7.
when I saw the receipt, I was like, I should have just went with Chris. Even as much as
I would've got
good as that
pasta.
was, I've never had an $80 buffet meal before.
Was this a Vegas story?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in
Oh, see, I
Caesars.
wouldn't know. I didn't go. I built the studio, and then yeah, you guys went to Vegas. And
Yeah.
So sorry that you got to eat delicious food. Jonathan was slaving away.
It's okay, you wouldn't. Oh man, as good as it is, I had to actually open up a new credit card to pay for that buffet.
Ray, no. I wanted to go though. Next time I need to go. I just got spaghetti. I had a great noodle day.
Oh, did you? Is that what you had?
Yeah, I went and got more noodles. The body is built by that, if you cannot tell. Rainley Han. Hey guys, best wishes to John. I was wondering what you guys think about live action anime adaptations. Why is it so hard for them to succeed? So one of my thoughts here is why? Why did we need a live action adaptation? So many animes are great, and it's done in a medium that serves their story and the way that they want to tell a story. Some of the reasons why I don't think they always translate, though. So there's ones like Cowboy Bebop that did do its own thing, that made stylistic choices that were very, very in tune with the original anime, down to having the same composer, having some of the same cuts and everything. But people didn't like that. And if you don't like that, you can go watch the actual anime. I thought it was fun. There are definitely some very cringy lines in it. But overall, I thought it was enjoyable. For the most part, though, I think it's either people don't take the storytelling to the stylized extent that it needs to be done, or they take it too far or are too realistic, and then people think that it's goofy or campy, and they don't want to watch it. What are your thoughts?
Like I said earlier, the best live action anime adaptations I've seen are on YouTube. My fans.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even there was a it's not anime, but they did a Mortal Kombat thing, like series on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube stuff that if you run into it, can surprise you. I mean, like I said, that Dragon Ball or like, I don't know if it was a preview of what's to come. That thing that some fan made, I've seen a Street Fighter one that was just like 10 minutes of, and then I think Ryu and Ken start running towards each other, and then it leaves that cliffhanger. There's a lot. There's even a One Punch Man. Someone tried to do a live action of the fight between Genos and Saitama in the canyon, and it's just a quick preview. They don't get into the fight, but I'm like, people are amazing, right?
Yeah.
People are super creative. I'm so happy YouTube is there for those things, because we can all find something we like on there.
Also, videos of cats and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cats playing
I mean, I guess also it's hard to be successful because right off the bat, you're alienating a large portion of your fan base who are like, this is an art unto itself. Why are you making it a live action film, right?
Absolutely.
So you're already an uphill battle. And then what do you do? Like you said, it's like you either have to go, it would seem so silly if you stylized it live action to match anime. It would be comical, honestly.
I mean,
then if you didn't do that, it's like, well, I'm not saying like a film like Sucker Punch was an anime or anything, but that was highly stylized. They tried something great and it flopped. And imagine doing something with a very popular IP and doing that live action. It's an uphill battle. It's hard. How do you do it?
Yeah.
What's the best animation adaptation you've seen, if I can ask? Well, that did it the best, if there is a best.
I mean, I genuinely, and I'm going to make people in the chat really bummed out. I genuinely liked the Cowboy Bebop one. I
didn't
thought
even
it
know
was
there
really
was
well
one.
done.
A
It was
live
with John
action.
Cho. It was great. I really, really enjoyed it. And Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite anime. But I know a lot of people who feel very strongly about that series, and they were very, very frustrated. There definitely were missteps in storytelling that I personally feel like paid off towards the end. Because again, they tried to do their own thing. But
wasn't there a Full Metal Alchemist too? Like that was on Netflix?
There is. I haven't watched that.
And there's one where the animation is like, it's like a shadow with spiky hair that like tries to. I can't.
Death Note.
Death Note.
Oh,
that
the Death Note one is so bad.
Is it bad?
It's so bad.
Okay.
Even William Dafoe couldn't save that.
And it's terrifying that they're trying to do a live action One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Leave me it alone, baby.
Well, they're doing that. I'm so confused. They're doing One Piece, which is still ongoing. It is literally hundreds of episodes. I just don't know how you convey all that. And if anime fans are already so polarized on watching dubbed versus subbed, changing the medium of how it's done is going to be a whole other can of worms. So I just feel like there's no pleasing people.
Don't even get into that, because as soon as I reveal my preference, I will be hated.
Yeah, that everyone will know I like dubs because I'm in them. Because I like to make money.
That's another reason for me now. Then dub, because my coworker does them.
Yeah.
Not because I'm lazy to read and I'm falling asleep half the time.
I do both. I like to see what the English adaptation was, and then I like to see what the actual line is supposed to be.
I'm telling you though, this new Netflix, the new season 2, if you turn on the captions, if you watch it in dub, it's completely off from whatever you're reading. I think this is the worst I've seen translated onto
Well, sometimes too, because I used to do this for Sentai Filmworks. Every now and then I would help do a script, and if they weren't super in love with the story, they'd tell you to just make jokes, and as long as you fit the mouth flaps, they'd be like, go for it, just see what happens. So sometimes it's just off the rails things, sometimes it's a cultural thing of just, that's a concept that we don't have here, or this is a food or something like that we need to change completely. But sometimes it's just, let's get weird with it.
Yeah, let's get weird.
Yeah. All right. From Corey R. Did you see the David Tennant and Catherine Tatum returning for Doctor Who's 60th anniversary? What is your favorite dog and companion? Mine is 11 and Clara. Awesome. I love that for you, Corey. Like I said before, my favorite Doctor is David Tennant, the 10th Doctor. And my favorite companion was Donna Noble. I really like Ten and Rose's love story, but Donna Noble is the best companion.
Since this is the third question we got about Doctor Who, in one sentence, maybe one and a half, what's this thing about? If someone wants to know, like, what is Doctor Who about?
An alien who is the last of his race travels through space and time with various companions, seeking to observe things throughout history, often enacting change, and has two hearts.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Is that Logan, tell me what's a good describer of this.
Okay, that's way off because I only seen merchandise. That's way off from what I thought it would be. I didn't know there's alien involved.
Yeah. Well, he's humanoid looking, but you learn that he has, two hearts, and he can regenerate. So that's one of the smart things about the show. And they did it originally because the first Doctor was getting sick. So they regenerate when they're like sick or get killed or something like that, or choose to, and then they become an entirely different looking person. And that's how the series can keep going.
Is that telephone booth the obvious thing? It's the time travel.
Yeah, that's his spaceship, which the cloaking mechanism is broken, and so it stayed a police box.
At least I got that one right.
Yeah.
I knew that's what he traveled. I mean, Bill and Ted's, baby.
Yeah. Exactly. Jermaine King. Y'all are doing wonderful. Ray, you're not just a side guy. You're our guy.
Aww.
Jermaine. That's true.
Thank you.
Josie Reviews. Thanks for everything you guys are doing. Keep up the great work. Ray, what do you use to make your graphics?
I actually came up with, I just figured out a new technique this morning to get, if you look at that screen, to get like the shadows on its fingers. Mm-hmm. Like I actually just mess around with Photoshop. If you know the basics of it, just try things. And sometimes you'll pick up something that you'll forever use. I know from now on, I'm going to use the little shadow thing that I did on the finger. Cause there's blending options, but just knowing enough, like you could try things and blend modes, everything. Yeah, I use Photoshop. That's it. That's all someone put me on. Before that, it was Microsoft Paint, where I had to delete every single pixel if I wanted a transparent thing of anything. Thank God for the internet. Internet provided me PNGs for everything now.
There you go.
Yep.
Man, this is a killer thumbnail too. You did such a good job. Al Renshaw. The John Campea Show got hotter. More Chris and Chef pleasures. Yeah.
So steamy in here.
Bringing so much sex appeal to the internet. Oh,
it's
good.
Boiling.
Call me Ismail. Hi, Chris. Rob hasn't brought you guys any cookies. I gave him the recipe. What a holdout.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What?
Tomorrow, Rob's.
Eat the brownies right goddamn now.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be cookies?
No,
Ismail makes the best cookies.
Oh, that's right. I've heard you guys talk about it.
They're so good. They're so very, very delicious. And he'll just bring us bags of them.
Yeah, monster size too. Like, I'm not usually into, I'm more of a soft cookie, soft batch sort of guy. But his crispy cookie,
it's got a little snap.
They're really good. He puts toffee in there, I think it was toffee, pieces of toffee. There's some butter. But man, every time Ishmael super chats, I'm sorry, man. When your name comes up, I just think of that cookie.
Yeah,
I do.
So good. And Rob has the recipe? Rob, you son of a bitch.
Out of all the people on this show, you gave Rob the recipe?
Give it to Rob? We literally cook for John.
You gave what?
He's irresponsible. You can't do this.
I won't judge you.
Look, I'm sure it's a Word file or it's written down somewhere or he can share it in some manner. I'm sure we can get that recipe spread around.
Cookies would be on the table right now, Ishmael.
Yeah.
If you gave me or Chris
this would be the cookie show.
It would be the cookie show.
Yeah.
Man. Where we talk about all kinds of good things, like cookies and more cookies.
I mean, we sort of are right now.
Well, we will get that recipe. Thank you for sharing it with Rob, and we will go steal it from him because your cookies are bomb.
Yep.
All right, from Leo Liang. Ray deserves his own spin-off show titled Master Cheeks.
Yeah. I got 2 sets, baby. On the top and on the bottom.
Oh, here he's reincarnating Ray. I mean Rob now with the off the cuff jokes. It's good.
Yeah, doing great. From
You know how much I love redheads. Dash Rob every year of his life.
I've always wanted to go to Japan.
Uh,
I love you, Rob. It's not your birthday week anymore, though. So,
Yeah.
and you didn't give me cookies.
Yeah.
Shots have been fired. Green tea drinker. Ray, you really are super awesome. There have been countless times that I've gone to my roommate to tell her something you said, and we just can't stop laughing.
Aw.
Thank you for being you. Aw.
thank you for being you.
Yay. Aw, that's very, very
Yeah,
sweet,
that's
green
very
tea
sweet.
drinker.
Thank you.
Dang it, Bobby. Ahoy, crew. Stream Darkman 90s, Liam and Rami Gem. Oh, you can stream it? Okay, that way we can finally watch Darkman.
Oh,
That's
on
great.
what? On what?
Yeah, what do we stream it on?
Yeah, wow.
We have
Well,
to do
I
our
guess
own research?
We could do the
What?
We could do the internet. We can.
I guess we could.
Yeah.
Just take the elephant.
At least it's free. I mean, kind of.
Well, for you.
John, what time are you available at home? When can you
Yeah.
open up?
I was gonna
Let me
say,
in?
you need to go water some plants and stream some stuff.
Yeah, let's. You know what? I brings up movie club. I hope we actually finish this Lord of the Ring thing. I'm gonna ask John about it when he comes back.
Yeah.
Let's finish it off with this Return of the King because it's on my playlist right now, and I want to finish that series. So
beautiful
let's see what he says. Hopefully, all the movie club fans, if it's coming to the end, you'll join us for the last episodes or whatever we decide or John decides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I would like you guys to keep doing that. I think it's really fun. From Nick. Hey, gang. Just want to say that y'all are doing a wonderful job. Steady as she goes, straight on till dawn. Aw, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Wayne Edwards sending in a $20 super chat. Thank you, Wayne. Happy Monday, crew. I watched the second episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and I loved it. So far, this show is fantastic. What do you think? I still haven't gotten a chance to watch it.
I watched the first one and I really like it. I don't like saying that around Rob because, there is a problem with a certain person. Here, Rob,
Yeah.
every time you say you like something, he might go off on a little thing that, I don't know.
So now that Rob is usually my desk mate, right?
Right.
Logan was like, oh, all I'm going to do is text message you all about how Picard is so much better than anything Star Trek's ever done. My husband is a master troll. He takes great joy in this and
I
wants
get
my job to be
him.
difficult.
And I think that's a great idea, Logan. And you should go forward with that.
Just keep doing you, babe.
Because now it's just to the point where it's like there's a face that Rob makes when Star Trek comes up that you don't get from his face about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a face that I see. I don't know if you guys have, but all of us know. It could be a different phase of his face, like catching it at
Bit of
different
a
times.
cold death
But there is a
stare.
thing where it's like
Distance.
there's an empty that it looks so funny to me that I want to bring that face out a lot more times than it really should be coming out. And I think Star Trek is the key to that face. It's like this blank,
Yeah, the blood leaves his face.
Yeah.
it's like this blank. He's staring off to nothing, and it cracks me up. And I want to see that face every day for the rest of my life.
It's true.
Just one time per day will make me happy. So keep the Star Trek questions
keep doing
coming.
it, everybody.
John doesn't want it, but
we do.
We at least need one. If you see a super chat where Star Trek comes up, don't super chat anymore. But we need at least one every day. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, but I want that Rob face.
From Nick. We already did that one. There we go.
Just Fredo now.
There we go. Fredo. Oh, Fredo.
Fredo!
Thank you for sending in support, Fredo. And that will do it for this very, very weird installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for sticking around and being with us here, you guys. And thank you for writing in and sending your questions and all of the topics, because without you, we literally could not do this show. I want to desperately thank all the people in this room. There's so few. Mr. Ray Ora, where can we find you?
Ray Ora with the 0. I also want to second that. Thank you for sticking with us today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for literally doing everything. We could not do this without you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us and just giving me a little bit of grace while I try to sit in the big kid chair. I really, really appreciate that. You can find me at actor Chris Carr on Instagram or on Twitter if you want to see stuff about voiceover or any of the things I'm doing. We've been working on a horror film, much to my chagrin lately. And until we...
No, go ahead. Okay. Finish. I'm going to ask you about that after the show. What is going on?
I will talk to you about it. We will be back tomorrow, but we are doing a later show. That way John can be with us. So that will be at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll put up notifications, so make sure you're all subscribed and you hit the bell so you know when we are going live. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.